that we have already started our online training as everything is locked down because of the corona issue all over the world. And yes, we have quite a good number of students training with us on the online platform. And in order to help them in learning, we thought of coming up with some educational videos through which they can get better understanding, not only for the students, also for the parents. So parents can actually get some knowledge about the technique, and they can also keep an eye on their children while they perform. Okay, so today we are planning to have some basics of the white belt syllabus. So for the white belt, there are a lot of things to learn because they are completely beginners. They know nothing about karate. So first of all, they must know what is karate all about. So karate is a self-defense system developed in Okinawa. The name karate means empty hand, which means you learn how to defend yourself without using any weapons. The actual name of karate is karate do. Okay, that is the do means the way. So we call it karate do means the way of empty hands. So first thing first, we will now learn how to bow. Okay, so in karate, not only in karate, it's a Japanese system, it's a Japanese tradition to show the respect by a bow. In many other countries, they have different systems. So in Japan, they use the bow. So how do you bow? First, you need to stand in this position. Look at my feet. It's in V position, and we call it musubirachi. Okay. So first, you come to musubirachi with your hands on the side of your thighs, and you gently bow a little bit forward, and then come back. Okay. And you can say os. Some people say os. Some people just bow. Some people say onegashimasu. It all depends on their system. But bow is there for everyone. We generally teach the students us, say the word us. Okay? But of course, you have to know that there are also people who say onegashimasu, who also don't say anything, only bow. So everything is possible. Okay? The reason we say broadly about not only about us, also about others, is because you must know that there are also other systems being followed by other people. So if you don't know that there is something like that, you tend to have disrespected, doubt about the genuinity of that thing. No. Okay, so everything is okay. That is okay. This is okay. Right. So I show the same thing over here. So you stand in a V position with your hands on the side, with your body upright, and you bow. And where do you look when you bow? That's questionable. And still, there are differences in opinion. So, what we teach here is when you bow, look straight. Look straight, okay? But there are also people out there, they say that when you actually bow a teacher, you look down, and when you bow your opponent or someone you don't know, just look straight. That makes sense? Okay, but in our class, we teach when you bow, you look straight. Okay? Right, so that's all about the bow. So once again, we'll have a bow. Feet together in, this is called my musubirachi, with your heels together and toes apart, hands on the side, and a nice bow. And say, us. Alright, that's all about the bow. And now, before we start all the sessions, we do meditation. Okay? So why do we do meditation? Meditation is a great key, a great form to install focus before the training. You might be coming from different situations. Some of you might be coming from your school. Some of you might be coming from your office. Some of you from the family. Some of you from your friends. So there might be a lot of things in your mind. Okay, so what you do is you have to keep everything out and make yourself completely ready for karate. That's the whole idea of meditation. Alright? In other words, if you take a bottle and you take some water in it and you put some sand and you shake the bottle, you can see that the whole bottle is dusty. Sand is going up and down and everything is a mess. And you let the bottle be there for 5 minutes. You can see all the dust particles are moving down slowly and getting settled in the bottom of the bottle. And the water becomes clear. Okay, so this is the principle, or this is the idea of the whole idea about doing meditation. So we will see how do you do meditation. So from this position, after you bow, you take a step with the right, then you sit on your back leg, knee down, then you touch your knee down here, okay, and then touch your right, then you sit down, and then you have to keep your fingers locked and put your hands on your lap. Alright? And of course, people do this way, people do this way, this way, this way, a lot of ways. Everything is right. Everything has its own reasons. Okay, the reason why do we lock our fingers is a symbolic representation of controlling your actions. You know, when you meditate, when you sit down here, when you actually sit here, you are teaching yourself to be disciplined, first of all. Especially for small children, it is very difficult to sit doing nothing. They tend to go here, they tend to go here, they go this way, they go this way. Of course, it is their nature, okay? It doesn't matter. But still, they should try to control their actions, and then this is the symbolic representation. Control your hands, lock your movement. So keep your hands here. Lock the whole movement, not only your body movement, even your thoughts, lock it. Your eyeballs, lock it. No moving your eyeballs inside. Alright? And finally, keep your back straight and hands, you can rest your hands on your lap and then body straight, and you close your eyes and then feel the flow of the air through your nose. Okay? Just inhale, exhale. Make it deeper, slower and silent. You shouldn't hear the sound of your breath. Okay? So just let it, let your body focus and inhale, exhale. Right? That's all about meditation, nothing else. In the beginning stage, you focus only on the body, and when you are comfortable with that, you can also try to focus on your mind. Try to focus your mind somewhere. Okay? It means control your thoughts. Controlling your thoughts is very difficult. Of course, even for the adults, it's difficult. Okay? Alright, another reason why you do this kind of things, like controlling your own actions, is because in karate you are learning how to control your opponent when someone is attacking you. Right? That's what karate, one of the main reasons you learn karate is for what? It's to defend yourself when someone attacks you. So if you want to control somebody who is trying to control you, first of all, you need to control yourself. That's the point. So learn how to control yourself, then you gain the ability to control others. Alright? So now you do meditation it can be for 30 seconds, it can be for 1 minute, it's all up to you. And then open your eyes. The sensei will say open or kaimoku. Oh, I forgot to tell you. In the beginning you say seiza, sit down, then mokuso. Mokuso means eyes closed. Mokuso, kaimoku, or some people also say mokuso yame. Stop the closing your eyes. That's okay. Okay, no big deal in that. Okay, the words that use in Japanese is just another language. Okay, you can say in this way or that way. Even in English, you can say the same thing in different ways. All right. So after meditation, kaimaku, open your eyes, and in our class we ask all students to say onegashimasu, onegashimasu, which means the meaning depends on the situation. Okay, it can mean like please show me the way, or please. Okay, it's the word of politeness, asking the teacher to show me the way. Okay, you can say it's like please show me the way, or just please. Okay, please show me the way, or please. Okay, all right, fine. Then you have to stand up again with your right leg up. Then stand up back to V position. Hands on the side of your thighs and give a bow. Then you're good to go. Then you will start the training. Okay, so this is the beginning part. Once you finish the meditation, the next thing that we do normally in the class is warming up. Warming up is very important for all physical activities. Maybe it's for swimming, you go to play cricket, you go to play football, whatever it is, warming up is very important. It will help your muscles to stretch easily. It will also help you to loosen your joints. It will also increase your heartbeat rate so that more blood will be flowing to your muscles. Okay, that's the whole idea of warming up. Alright, so warming up is, you can do it by yourself. Okay, you can make sure that you always start slowly. Okay, don't try to jump very high in the beginning itself. Okay, so always start slowly by slowly rocking your leg, slowly stretching forward, then loosening your joints, hip, neck, wrist, ankle, everything. Like, you can follow that one, you can learn that one in our online class, and also you can, those who have already done training with us, you must already know the exercises that you do for warming up. Okay, right, so we are not touching warming up here, we will directly go to the basics, techniques. Okay, fine, basic techniques. The first thing you learn is how to punch in karate. Alright, so before you learn how to punch, you must know how to clench your fist. So you see my fist, you open, then you see make a fist, clench your fist, then tighten your fist, then you lock with your thumb. So this is how you make a fist. This is wrong. Keeping a thumb inside is wrong. So make sure you open. 1, 2 and 3. That's how you clench your fist. Okay? Fine. So now let's go and learn how to punch. So all of you make fist and put your right arm straight and left hand is here. Okay? And then start this hand slowly moving forward. 1 and punch. The same time you pull other hand back. Again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. See, both arms should go at the exact same time. In and out, in and out. Alright. So the hand that you pull back is called hikite. Okay. Or you can call it a passive hand. Passive hand must be always kept on your ribs. Okay. This also, you can see different systems. In some schools they teach a bit higher. Some schools they say that it should be on the belt. But what we teach is here in between. Okay, on your ribs. Alright. So I will also point some mistakes. Okay, that usually people make. Or even small kids when they don't understand the actual use of it. So when you pull back, you don't pull your elbow here. Your elbow must be going to the back, exactly to the back. It means if your punch goes that direction, your elbow goes to other direction. It must be exactly opposite. Why so? There are a lot of reasons for hikite. I'm not coming to everything. One basic thing, the thing that you can understand, why you do hikite in karate. Imagine I keep my arm straight here and there is someone pulling me this side, so I go this way because I lose balance. There is a power pulling me towards me, and now imagine there is somebody else standing here and using the exact same force this guy uses. So what happens? He is trying to pull me here, and this guy over here, he is using the same amount of force, so I will be stable. So just imagine that way, okay? It's like two equal forces are pulling you from two directions, so you will have stability, you won't lose balance. So listen, when you punch, you're actually throwing something to the front. So you're throwing something to the front, so you might lose your balance. So in order to make it up, you use same amount of power backward. So since you're going here and the exact opposite side, your body will be stable. So that is the point. I hope you understood the point about the hikite. Still there are many other reasons which we will be covering in our class. Okay, so you learn how to clench your fist, you learn how to punch, and you learn how to make hikite or pulling the hand back. And the next one is how to focus your punch. Right. So focusing the punch must be always to the front. If you do the punch, one on this side, one on this side, is wrong. So don't go like that. So how do you go that? You keep your fist together, side by side, and there is where you're going to punch. So pull back. See, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, you see me from here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the basic way of doing the punch. And also make sure that you rotate your fist while punching. For example, I keep my passive hand here. When I go for the punch, I release this way. Okay, I release this way, and when I cross half of the way, I start turning my fist, and then towards the end of the punch, I complete the rotation. And then I pull back. Then I go for the punch. Then I pull back. And another one, I told you before, it is not good to keep your elbow out, which is wrong. One more reason for that. If you keep your elbow out, when you start the punch, there is nothing behind you to give you the push. You understand? So when you keep your elbow here, like hikite, if it is here, when you start the punching, your fist is not in the right position. So when you start the punch, there is nothing behind you to give you that force. But if you keep your elbow behind you, you see you have a strong elbow. You have a strong elbow to push your fist to the front. To push your fist to the front. I hope you got the point. When you do the punch, another very important thing that you must notice, but it is, for the beginners, it's a bit hard to understand, but seniors for sure, you have to pay attention for this, okay? And then, it's all about your hip. How do you move your hip, okay? So now, if you see my hands, see, my hands are pointing to the front, okay? The same direction as my hip points. So when I do a punch with my right hand, see my right is my passive hand, when I go for the punch with my right hand, what should I do with my hip is, I turn my hip slightly to the right, then bring it back to the front. If I want to go with my left hand, I turn my hip slightly to the left, then go to the front. Okay, now watch. I'm staying here. So if I want to punch with my right hand, the first thing I do is position your hip. Okay, position your hip, and then follow with the punch. And then when you finish the punch, your hip is exactly pointing to the front. Now the same thing I go with my other side. So I have to turn. Then as my punch goes to the front, my hip has to turn and readjust to the front. So this is very important. Okay. Otherwise, when you try to punch without using your hip, you won't get power. So let's watch one more time. Okay. So I stay here. So when I punch, I have to turn. Okay. Turn and punch. Okay. Then turn. See this motion. And punch. But remember, when you finish the punch, your body must be exactly facing to the front. Okay. So you can't finish the punch this way or this way. Don't do that. When you finish the punch, you need your hip to be facing to the front. Imagine you are pushing something. Okay. Suppose there is something heavy in front of me. I want to push it. So how do I push it? I don't push it like this by keeping my hip here. I try to push it like this by keeping my hip to the front. The same principle. Alright? So make sure that when you punch, when you finish the punch, your hip is facing to the front. But when you are about to start your punch, you just have to give a quick rotation by moving slightly to the right and go to the front. Slightly to the left, go to the front. That's it. Next one is how to do a down block. Okay, so we have covered how to bow, how to make a fist, how to punch, and how to do hikite, how to focus your punch to the front. Okay, and now we will cover the down block. Alright, so down block we call gerambarai. Okay, the basic way of doing gerambarai. Okay, we are not talking about the position stances now. We'll just talk about the block. Okay, we'll just talk about the block. Alright, so the down block, again, there are different systems of doing down block, okay, but the finishing point is same for almost all the styles. The down block finishing point is the same, but where you start the block from, that can vary depending upon the school that you follow. Some schools, they start from the shoulder, they have a very long down block. Some schools start from the wrist. Like traditional styles, they start from the wrist. They make the technique very short and explosive. And our system, we are following Shitoryu school. In our school, we follow from the chest or elbow. Slight difference. So it doesn't matter. You can either start from the chest or start from the elbow. Not a big deal. But what matters is you must have your full power when you finish the technique. So we are not doing from the shoulder because it's too long. According to the tutorial principles, your technique should not be too long. You have to make it a bit shorter. Okay? And we are not doing from the wrist. Even though it's very fast, it's not easy to get that power. So that's why we do the moderate one from the middle. So from the chest or from the elbow, doesn't matter. Alright? And also when you do the block, make sure that you have a rotation also for the block. So the rotation is not only for the punch. So even when you do the block, you're keeping your hand here, and towards the end of the technique you turn your fist. Okay? That's how you complete the block. Alright? So how do you do down block? Now watch. I start in this position. 1, okay, see, 1 and 2. Again, this one, 1 and 2. Now you notice, okay, notice something. When I pull this hand here, I should not be doing it like this. Don't take this arm away from your body. Watch now. I think you can see better in this perspective. Okay, so this is not the right way. This hand should be always close to your body. Close to your body. We need to save time. Okay, save time. So 1 is okay. 1 is okay. This is not okay. Not okay. That's too big. Okay. So 1 here, and then go for the block. That's how you block. Another thing. Now look at my other hand. Okay. I'm already here. So 1. What do I do with this hand? I have to bring it slightly inside. Slightly inside. Because this also can work as a block. Imagine there's a punch coming towards me. So 1, this will serve as a parrying action, thumb. Or a kick coming, thumb. This is also a block. So 1, and you continue that with the second technique. So when you do this technique, you are actually doing 2 things. Okay? Even though you do one down block, you are actually doing 2. Okay? And it applies for almost all the blocks. I will come to that point later when I teach that block. Okay? Right, so when I start from here, 1, so slightly in, okay, in, and block. Again, in, block. Another point is you must stay very relaxed. You shouldn't tighten your muscles and stand so stiff. Don't do that. Okay? Because you should know that whenever you are making yourself stiff, you are not allowing your muscles to move fast. Okay? So always relaxation is the key. You have to relax yourself. Alright? So just imagine, we always say in the class, if you look at a dead body of someone, okay, someone is dead and you look at the body, it's very stiff. So stiffness is the symbol of death. Now you go and look at the newborn baby, how soft he is, symbol of life. Alright? So now, you need to be soft. That's what Bruce Lee said, be like water. Be like water. That's the point. You need to be very soft, not stiff. Stiffness doesn't work. Softness works. Softness is the key for all the techniques. Alright. So now, what you do is you stand here. 1, okay, you are soft. You are soft. You're not tightening your muscles. Then from here, go for the block. Block. So that will give you a very quick motion rather than just making it tight, not allowing you to move. Doesn't make sense. Alright? So the key is being soft, okay, and moving fast and finishing the technique as quick as possible. Right. Another important thing about the down block is you see a block, it doesn't serve only as a block. A block can be a strike. A block can be something you can release a grip. For example, imagine someone is grabbing me here. Someone is grabbing my hand. Alright? So 1, and this motion can actually break that grip and make yourself free. That's one thing. Another one, a block can be a strike. Imagine this one, I'm attacking from the side. It can be a strike to the stomach, the groin, doesn't matter. Alright? So remember, a block is not only a block can also be an attack, a block can also be something else depending upon the situation. Alright? So now today we have covered middle punch and down block. and next class we will be back with positions or stances and then transitional movements, okay, transitional movements, and then physical fitness requirement for a white belt student to get promoted to the yellow belt. Alright, so remember, white belts you have to learn certain techniques, certain hand techniques, certain leg technique. We will also cover the front kick next class. Okay, front kick, we have a front kick next time. And then there is a transitional move, which means how do you move from one position to the next position. Okay, we have a transitional move, we will cover next class. And also you have a certain number of repetitions of push-ups and crunches and plank, then V-ups, a lot of things to make your belt achievement more challenging. Rather than getting it easy, you have to achieve it. You have to try hard, lose your sweat, spend a lot of time, and then you will be happy to get your belt. So see you next class. Until then, goodbye.